Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Shani Collins Woods. I hope and pray you are well and safe, that your family is well and safe. I wanted to share a few positive recommendations or suggestions for dealing with stress. We are, as a society, dealing with COVID-19. It is very stressful. It has created a lot of anxiety for many people, not just in the United States, but also globally. People are dying. People are sick. People have lost jobs. Life as we knew it ended, when COVID started to come to our particular region of the globe. And so we are all dealing with this as a global community. And it's very stressful. It's very anxiety provoking. So I was invited to share ways to deal with stress during this time to my organization. As many of you know, I am a professor of social work. I wrote a book several years ago, the She Devotional, where I talk about managing your spirit, your health, and emotions. And some of my colleagues asked me to present to the university. The presentation I made was well received, and I'm very grateful for that. But I did want to come to you with similar tips and give you some recommendations on ways that you can sort of not necessarily deal with COVID-19, because there's no blueprint to this. It may have impacted your life in a different way than it's impacted my life. I still have a job to do. I'm still able to receive compensation for doing the work that I do. A lot of people are not in that same position. So COVID has impacted us in a different way. But I do want to share, and I did want to come to you today to share ways that you can sort of work through stress if you are extremely stressed, and ways that you can, even amid this crisis, still prioritize your mental, physical, and spiritual health, because it is important. We don't know when COVID-19 will end. We didn't see this coming, but God saw this coming. He already knew this was going to take place. So I just want to give you some tips to really encourage you and to really help you focus on what's important during this season. Yes, your family is important. Yes, your job is important. Yes, community work, advocacy, doing fundraising, and all those things are important as we talk about COVID-19. But what's going to be really important for you to continue the work that you're doing, continue the mission that you have as an individual, and to continue to walk out your purpose, is for you to prioritize yourself, your mental health, your wellness, your spiritual health during this season. So I'll go ahead and get started with my 12 suggestions for those of you who are feeling a sense of stress, who are feeling a sense of anxiety. Some of these are things I'm actually putting into practice myself. Number one, prioritize yourself. You are so important to this world. You are important to this earth. We are dealing with COVID-19, and it is very stressful for a lot of people. I don't know how it's impacted your life. I mentioned that earlier, but you are still important. If you're running for your job and doing everything for your kids, doing everything for your spouse, for the community, everyone else, and deprioritizing yourself, you will burn out really quickly, because stress leads to burnout. And being burned out is not a good place to be in, okay? We perhaps all have been there. So I would encourage you to prioritize yourself. And what this means is, if your schedule but prior to COVID-19 was, getting up in the morning, exercising, practicing mindfulness, praying, whatever it was, exercising, whatever it was that gave you a sense of relief, that gave you that opportunity to exhale, you need to continue to keep that as a part of your regimen, because COVID-19 has disrupted everything in our lives in many different areas. You still want to keep that routine going, because there's been such a big change. It's causing us to have more stress. So continue to do those things that allow you to put yourself first, not on the back burner, but do those things that allow you to put yourself first. And if you were not a person who took the time to prioritize yourself, your mental health, your physical health, and your spiritual health, I would encourage you to use this opportunity of COVID-19, where many of us are not necessarily going to our jobs, or where there's been a change in our schedule, where we may have a little bit more free time. Make sure you prioritize yourself. My second suggestion is to work on your thoughts. Okay, anxiety emanates from our thoughts. So if you have a negative thought that comes into your mind, that's going to influence how you feel, and in turn that will influence how you behave. For example, and I think this is a little funny, I was in Walgreens the other day. I had my mask on, I had my gloves on. I was trying to practice social distancing, but I have to not be out. I have, compromised immune system. I'm around other people, so I have to make sure that I'm taking this very seriously. I was in Walgreens getting whatever item it was I needed to get, and there was an older African-American woman on the same aisle, and I just completely forgot because I was trying to get out of the store, and so I was a little close to her. I wasn't the 6 feet apart by accident. She turned around, looked at me, and literally ran down the aisle. So I say this to say that lady probably is dealing with a lot of anxiety. Maybe she's older, knows she has a compromised immune system. If she's reading the data and statistics, a lot of African Americans and those from communities of color are being impacted by COVID-19. They're dying from this disease. So she's probably on edge. But what I'm saying is this: our thoughts influence how we feel about things. So her thought was probably, this girl is probably got COVID-19, and her feelings were probably she became afraid. Her next thing was her behavior. Her decision was to run away from me. And so we don't want to necessarily live in a place where we're running from everyone. We do want to take precautions, but what I'm saying is try to the extent that you can to manage those thoughts that may not necessarily be the best for us during this season. So our thoughts can go wild, our minds can race really quickly, but try your best to think positive thoughts, to know that you're doing the best you can to protect yourself, and really that's all we can do. Point 3, or recommendation number 3, try to get some exercise in and eat right. I say this because exercise is a stress reliever. I don't care what people say. They say you don't need to. No, you need to exercise. I need to exercise. Everyone needs to get some form of exercise in. It is a stress reliever. This morning I did 5 miles on my, I call it my fake Peloton, but I have an exercise bike that's almost similar to an indoor cycler. And so I do that 45 minutes. And I think it is important for you to prioritize your health during the season, because we are all so very stressed out. And exercise is a stress reliever. And what you don't want to do is allow that stress to continuously build, because it takes an impact on your stomach, on your mind, your thoughts. You retain that stress everywhere in your body. So exercise, get some sunlight, go get cardio, do something, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour, even longer for yourself. Do what is healthy do what's healthy and what's recommended by your physician. Really try to stay healthy. And also, as I'm saying that, I want to encourage you to try to the extent that you can to eat right. I know that a lot of us are ordering online now or using these delivery services. I am definitely guilty of that. But if you can, try to order something that is healthy and nutritious. If you're just too stressed out to cook because you have a lot on your plate, try to get something that's going to nourish your body in a positive way, because the last thing we want to do is to walk away from this COVID-19 experience and have put on 45 pounds, because what that's going to do is going to give us high blood pressure, diabetes, all the stuff we, are trying to avoid. Is going to compromise our immune system. So try to do something, eat right, get some wellness in. One thing I like to do in the morning, I love Simply Orange. So I will have like a small glass of orange juice every morning. I take my vitamins, I take what I need to take to give me energy and to stay healthy. So get you some orange juice in, vitamin C. The next thing I will tell you to do, also, this will be recommendation number 4, detox from your day. And so if you've had a stressful day, if you're working from home like I am, or, whatever your job situation may be, or even if you are not presently working and you still feel a sense of stress, if it's within your budget, get some essential oils, get some lavender. Walmart has this. This is geranium. I burn essential oils, wax, candles, incense all day, every day, because those things help to, when I can smell the aroma, it really helps me to de-stress. It helps me take my mind to a better place, not feel so stressed out. I have a lot of emails to respond to through my job. Students are constantly emailing me, and they are very stressed out at this point. So I may receive 6 emails from one student. That student has a lot of anxiety, and what that does for me, that irritates me and makes me feel a little bit more stressed out and frustrated. So I have to have scents and things like that going. I'm a big person on bath bombs, anything that smells good or that gives me a good smell. I am all here for it. So I would encourage you to do the same thing. Get some essential oils, lavender, get something to make your room smell good, something to help you relieve stress and to detox from your day that way. Take plenty of baths, warm showers, whatever you need to do to relax and to let go of that stress. The next thing I would tell you to do is to detox from social media. We all have our iPads and our gadgets and our phones, and we're constantly, looking at these things because they help us to stay in touch, but also they can be create a sense of anxiety and stress in us when we read about the celebrities dying, we read about people being impacted by COVID-19, and we're seeing all these conspiracy theories, all these different stories floating on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook. All that can be very stressing, it can be very overwhelming for any of us. So if you can, put limits on your use of social media. If you find something like the news or even an event or even a person is causing you a lot of stress, you have to pull away from that and detox, because right now is not the time for you to compromise your mental health and wellness because of things that are triggering you or things that are going to make you extremely upset. So social media can be a thing that really gets us caught up in a lot of stress and drama and X, Y, and Z. And at this point, with all that's going on in the world, you don't have time to focus on negativity. If other people want to be negative, let them do that. Let them be, bitter Betty. You don't have time to do it. Okay? The next thing I would suggest, this is item 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Learn to cope. And I told this to my colleagues at the university. We don't know when COVID-19 is going to end. They're saying that this may even extend to the fall. Okay? How is that going to just be? That's going to be a big change for a lot of people. So does that mean people are going to be out of work through the fall, through Christmas, through 2021? We don't know. So in saying that, I'm a person of faith. I don't know where you stand with your faith, but I would encourage you to know that God is in control. And so we have to learn how to cope with this very stressful situation. And so that means, again, doing things that are going to make you bring some joy and excitement into your life during this season of difficulty. So if you like to sing, praise and worship, if you like to dance, I see so many of these viral dances. If you like to exercise, for me, I like to make soap. It takes my mind off things. Again, I like to detox and de-stress and, throw away my day, getting in the shower, things of that nature. Find a way to cope with this situation. It is very difficult because in addition to the things we already had going on prior to COVID-19, family members are burying, their relatives, communities are being impacted, everyone is on edge. And so I'm saying find a way to cope, but I do know it's really hard for any of us to really cope with this whole new situation. So do your best, but find something that brings joy, excitement, a sense of peace into your life, and engage in that activity. Okay, we don't want to look at negative coping, such as alcohol, substance abuse, abusing food in the wrong way. Like I said, we can sit in the house right now where we can overeat, and that's not necessarily going to be healthy for us. Stay away from the drugs, the alcohol. It's just not going to put you in a good place. It's going to increase your anxiety and depression, but find a way to cope. The next thing I would suggest is laughter. We may be thinking, this is such a macabre time. It's such a depressing time. Everyone should be sad and we should look, man, we should wail. But you have to know that God is in control, and God has not given us a spirit of fear. I don't think we should necessarily walk around with fear. We should be intentional about being safe. We should be very cautious. We should listen to the recommendations and use wisdom in adhering to that. But I don't think we should necessarily go around fearing our neighbor. Now, if someone is, coughing and doing all of this and not necessarily trying to keep themselves safe, or you should definitely go the other way. But I'm saying this all to say we can't live our lives in fear on a day-to-day basis. Get some laughter in. Go watch something that's going to be funny to you. If you're confined to the house because your immune system is compromised, or perhaps the people living with you and you really don't want to get out, you really can't get out as much as you would like to, and so you're stuck in the house like me half of the time, watching videos and doing homework or responding to email. Find something that makes you laugh. It could be something that you see on social media that's positive, or it could be a nice thought that brings a smile to your face. Find something that makes you laugh. It could be Netflix. Tiger King is really good. If you haven't seen Tiger King, go see it. It's crazy. It's zany. It's crazy. But find something to just simply make you laugh, because laughter is good for the soul right now. Laughter is what we all need. Okay? Another thing I would suggest, and this is item 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is item 8. Take your medication. This is not the time for you to go solo with your medicine, or if you're saying, I'm going to get off my plan was to get off my high blood pressure medicine before COVID, so I'm just not going to. That's not going to be smart right now, because you are stressed out, and a lot of people are stressed out. So if you are on medication prescribed by your doctor, your physician, she or he has prescribed this medication to you. It can be for diabetes, any chronic health issue, bronchitis, whatever the situation may be. Now is not the time for you to go rogue or to just do your own thing if you weren't necessarily compliant before. Take your medication, especially if you're living with hypertension, especially if you're living with diabetes. Take your medicine consistently, because the last thing you want to do is end up in the ER, okay? And if you have the type of health care, and I know a lot of people don't have insurance right now, so I'm not trying to be to exclude anyone. I understand the reality. People are poor in this country and they don't necessarily have insurance. They don't have the money for medication. But if you have insurance, if you are able to have a primary care physician, or if you already have established care, try to get your visits converted into a telehealth appointment. My doctors are all at Vanderbilt University Medical Center. They are all wonderful doctors, and all of my appointments have been telehealth. So if I need to talk to them, I'm just, communicating with them on the app. If I need a refill on anything, they are able to provide that information to me. But at the same time, I say that I feel very fortunate and privileged to have a job and to have insurance coverage. But I do know millions of Americans are, at the unemployment lines. They don't have insurance. So, if there are any resources I can share or look up or, share with anyone, I'll definitely try to post those, to my YouTube page. But I'm praying for those individuals who are without medical care and without insurance during this season. The next recommendation I would give you, and it's really an important one, know when to stop. I had to learn this about 10 years ago. Like, girl, you have to know when to stop. You have to know when you've had enough for the day. You are not the Energizer Bunny. You are not a superhero. Yeah, I know we wear all these fabulous shirts like Black women are superheroes. Yes, we are superheroes. Yes, we are magical. And we are all of that. We are all great, whoever you are. But listen, you are also a human being. You are also mortal. And guess what? You get tired just like I get tired. And we have to know when to stop. And there's no one around who's going to regulate you. The only person who can regulate when and how you are functioning is YOU. So I would encourage you to know when to stop. Know when you've reached your threshold for the day. Know when your body is saying, hey sis, hey bruh, I'm tired. So know when to put an end to your day. My statement is like, I'm done. Tim will tell you, like, listen, babe, I'm done. I can't go on anymore. I am done. But I really try not to let myself get to a point where I'm, that physically exhausted. And sometimes we have to, go above and beyond. But I really try to, you do a few things and then I say, you know what? I'm not going to burn myself out. So don't burn yourself out. Have a cutoff for yourself. Listen to your body. Your body will tell you when it's tired. Your body will tell you when it's time to stop. So again, you are not a superhero. Don't even buy into that myth. All right? Yeah, you are fabulous and you are all that, but you are also human. So know when to stop and know how to say, hey, I'm done. I'm going to bed. The next thing, seek out a healthy, positive support system. And I emphasize healthy and positive because people can want to be a part of your support system and they may be people but they might not necessarily be positive, or they may not be what you need during this time. If you're dealing with anxiety and stress and depression and all those things work hand in hand because you've lost your job or your spouse has lost his job or things have changed completely financially, or now you are the person trying to take care of other people, that's very stressful for you. The last thing you need is negativity. So find social support and community, friends, people you trust. Don't tell your business to everybody, but find people that you trust who can really provide a sense of support and provide what you need during this time. You don't have to entertain negative people, whether it's your friends, family, coworkers. You don't have to entertain that. So do what you need to manage your mental health, to take care of yourself mentally, physically, and spiritually, and to be well for yourself. And so any negativity during this time, do not tolerate it. Set healthy boundaries. And again, identify positive support systems, whether those are online positive support systems, people who are encouraging you to take an exercise, people who are encouraging you to eat right, people who are praying with you. So make sure they're positive and healthy themselves, because you don't want someone pouring into your life during this season of stress and they aren't well, okay? If that makes sense. So get positive people around you. And my second to last one is to pray, meditate, and to be mindful. I'm a person of faith, so prayer is important to me. Talking to God, communicating with God. I have a Spotify playlist called Praise Him, where it's just about 80 or 90 songs of just praise and worship, and I listen to that. I try to get my day started with that because it gets me going, and sometimes I don't get my day started with it, but it's on my mind to pray, to communicate, to talk to God, and to pick up the word of God, whether I'm looking at it or whether I'm reading it on my iPad or even reading some form of a devotional. So do what works best for you. If you like to meditate and to be silent, to get centered, great, do that. Do whatever you need to do. If mindfulness is a practice you like to engage in, absolutely do it. I love meditation oases. I love listening to the rain at night. I listen to all these wonderful things to help me sleep better. So do what you need to do to center your mind, to quench your anxiety. You may not be able to get rid of all of it completely because this is a very stressful time. Like I said, your life is different than my life. I don't know what's going on. I may have stressors in 5 or 6 different areas, and you may have them in 7 or 8 or 9 different areas. So we all have stress going on. So don't let anyone tell you that, oh, I'm just good. Don't even buy into that. People are stressed out. People are feeling sad. They are feeling depressed. And it's okay to feel this way because we are dealing with unprecedented changes in our society globally. So don't let anyone diminish your feelings. Feel your feelings, but again, don't stay there. Use some of these tips that I've given you. Prioritize yourself. Work on your thoughts. Eat right. Exercise. Detox from your day. Use lavender and scents. Detox from social media. Learn how to cope. Do what makes you laugh. Laughter. Take your meds. Get health visits. Know when to stop. And again, seek out the healthy support system. Use and meditate, pray, and be mindful. So use those tips to help you cope with COVID. That's what it is, coping with COVID, because it's all we can do. Cope with what's going on. We don't have an answer. We don't have a solution. But I serve a God who never sleeps nor slumbers, a God who never fails. And as we come up to this Easter season, I'm reminded that he is a living Savior. I'm reminded of his sacrifice. So I would encourage you, if you're a person of faith, to also be reminded of the goodness of God during this season, to be reminded of all that he's already brought you through, dangers seen and unseen. When people say that, there's so many things that have passed our way that we didn't even know because God kept us. And so I pray that God will continue to keep each and every one of you. I know that he will. And whether we get COVID or not, we're still in God's hands. But I encourage you to be safe, do the recommendations, wear your mask, stay 6 feet apart. And if you forget, like I forgot the other day, it's okay. Just try to practice it, wear your gloves, keep your hand sanitizer near you, and just do the best you can, and even with that, people are still getting sick. So again, this is beyond us. It's nothing that we can do. We can only do what we can do, change our behavior, listen to the recommendations. My final suggestion before I conclude this video is to love yourself more each and every day. This is a hard season. You may feel like you're failing in some areas. Maybe homeschooling isn't going right. Job situation is crazy. You're not able to be as responsive as you would like to be. Don't focus on those little things. Focus on the bigger picture of who you are. Focus on all the positive qualities you have. Don't focus on little things that are here and there that you may feel that you're not necessarily doing right. Because sometimes when we're stressed out, we can become our own worst critics. Focus on the bigger picture. Focus on continuing to be the positive, great person that you are. And more than anything, know that God is in control during this situation. So I'm praying for you that your anxiety, your stress is alleviated. And if it's not, I'm praying that God continues to show himself and show you how powerful he is to all of us during this season. Focus on the goodness, the good things that are going on in your life. Focus on the positive people, and just focus on prioritizing yourself, continuing to be the great person that you are, and just know that you are making a difference. So I love you. That's my message for today. I hope these 13 tips have been helpful for you to think about stress. And again, just know God is in control. Do what you can do. And when you've done all you can do, in the words of Donnie McClurkin, stand. Well, that's a Bible scripture, but also stand and just let God be God. Okay? That's my message. Thank you. And if you have any questions, please feel free to shoot me an email at askdrshani@gmail.com or info@shanicollins.com. Thank you. And until the next time, be safe and take care of yourself. Love you. Bye.